Let's work on those upper bodies. Yeah. We are here to pump you up. So, today, upper bodies. We've already covered hands, feet, lower bodies, legs, and now the upper bodies. Now, the upper bodies there's a lot of different styles. It matters if it's a male, is it female? Is it a comic book character, or is it a normal looking? Is it, supposed to be extremely buff, or, what kind of physique are you looking for? Do you want a six-pack? So this video is going to be covering a lot of stuff, but I want to give you a lot of different body shapes to go with. So let's start off with the simplest one of all. Grab this color here. And this is when you just need a body. And, I've seen it used for basic cartoon characters, even Hello Kitty and, Mario, anything where you're just, again, this is line work bodies, okay? So we're going to do our two hands, or our wrists, that will be our hands, since this is the quick version. And we're not even going to put an elbow in it. So we're going to grab this from our leg video. And what we're going to do is we're going to come up the side. Okay, that's going to be how long our arm is. We're then going to do two little ear twists. That is going to be where our neck is, so that the rest of the balloon, like the head, can get attached to it. We're now going to go around the feet and twist it into the neck again. Okay? We're then going to go to our arm again and just give it a little squeeze. And that is our elbow. Okay? And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And I didn't make it long enough, so I had to add a little extra air. And we're going to go down and make sure that both arms are about the same size and add our two ear twists. Twist them real good against each other. And then we're going to just tear off the part and again add that. And that is simplest body that you can make that will look like a person. So there we go. Okay. Now, if you want, I do know some people who twist the ankles together, the heels, and that locks it in so the upper body and lower body do not come undone. And truthfully, that works really well for if you're just doing something simple. Even if you're using round balloons that have the faces already put on them, this works very well just to give you a quick balloon character. And this also works like for a little doll and things like. Again, there's not too many pieces that can come undone. It's solid. So that is the simplest body, upper body, lower body combo that for something that looks like a person that I know of. Saw this many years ago. A lot of people do, so I have no idea who originally came up with this style, but it works really well for that. Yeah. So let's go into something a little bit more complex now. So let's start off with, I'll show you how I do my Spider-Man body. And I do have a Spider-Man video that's coming out. I just don't think I've loaded it up. I shot it a while ago, just hasn't made it. Might be coming out real soon. So if I'm making my fast Spider-Man, again, gonna just do the simple two-ear twist for the hands. We cover this in the upper body part. I'm just doing the very simple elbow, upper arm, shoulder. I'm going to grab another balloon. And I'm going to do the exact same thing again. Now we're going to do a couple different Spider-Man bodies so you can see some of the options. This would be for my small Spider-Man, my quick Spider-Man. Either I mean, you could do a Spider-Man like this. Red upper body, blue lower body, add a red round balloon with the mask, and quick. That's a quick Spider-Man. But I like doing this way. So I'm going to come out, and instead of like with my legs where this would be the hip area, this is now going to be my shoulders. And I'm going to make them kind of wide because eventually I'm going to stick the neck in between there. And so there's one of my shoulders. Here's my other shoulder. I'm going to just put them on top of each other and twist them. And there we go. Okay, so we've got a couple different options here. Now, if I want just a simple body, I can just come down here and twist it and put my legs right there. So, hey, if it's Daredevil and he's all red costume, or Deadpool, add a little black to it with a marker. There you go. Add your feet, boom. Simple. But I like doing a little bit more complex. So there's a couple different ways. So I'm going to just put an ear twist at the bottom here so I have a point to twist to. And that would also be where my hips can be twisted in if it's a narrow body. If I'm doing like a narrow legging. So I would come up and I would just give them, instead of a 6-pack, I'll just give them a 4-pack. Okay? And then I'd come back up to those same shoulders and twist it in. And when I put my neck in there, let me do that. Imagine there's a head attached to this balloon. So if I put that in there and I get it in there and I can twist it all the way down to where the hips are, okay? It fills in that front part real nicely. And if I really want to, I could then push it out a little bit so I have a place to draw the logo right there. Okay? And then my neck is ready to go. So that's one way of doing it. Now let me show you another way. So if I take this all apart here, remove that neck. Whee, there we go. And dislocate those shoulders. There we go. Now, this is how you would do a 6-pack. Now, if I was doing something like this, it would be probably like on a Superman. Because Superman still has a narrower waist. He doesn't have the wide waist of like a Teenage Mutant Turtle or the Incredible Hulk or other, bigger characters like that. So what you do is you come up, and the first bubbles I'm going to make pretty small. So just, about 1.5 finger width. Okay? And so here's the secret, the tip. You can do them just like this and then do another set and another set and build it up. And it looks okay. But if you want to do the thing that no one expects, you take one of your bubbles, you pull it down, you go around, and then you pull it back up. And then twist it. What this does is kind of gives it more like an oval shape instead of a rectangular or a round shape. And when you do that a couple times, so I'm going to make these abs a little bigger, not that big. There we go. And I bring it down, pull it down, twist it around, and then back up. Okay. You can see it's kind of gotten that ab shape now. Okay. And we're going to do that one more time, a little bit bigger. And again, go down, around, back up. Okay. And that gives us our 6-pack. Okay. And then we can bring it up around the shoulders. Now, if you do this in a different color, so you can see right now that there is, you can tell where the balloon is that's kind of tying it all together. Let's see, get a good angle of that. See right there between my thumbs, okay? Right there. If you turn that whole thing over, you're gonna hide that. Okay, so there's my abs. Now, if I was doing Spider-Man, I might do this in I would do this in red, but I would do the outside parts in blue. Because if you look at his costume, it's red and blue. So I'll then bring my extra piece of balloon down, go around the little hip joint area. Okay. Twist it right in there, right where my legs eventually will be. If I actually don't let it go because I'm trying to figure out where the camera is. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other balloon, but I've got to inflate it a little bit first. And there we go. Okay. So what this does, by having these side sections, I now that can tuck my arms right into it. So it holds them down so it's more natural instead of, you know, straight out or straight up. So there we go. Let's bring that up so you can see a little better. There we go. And then like if we put some of our, let's add this leg here to it. Give you an idea of what it would look like. Here we go. So if we added this leg, you can kind of see where we're going. Now, again, nice thing about this is if you do multiple colors, it really stands out. If this whole thing's black and this is like a silver or gold, it looks really cool for like a night or something like that. Again, play around with your colors. What makes one character different than the other, I mean, if you look at comic book characters, all the time, you're going to see they're extremely similar, except it's the costume. How many characters are in single piece leotards? Okay. Spider-Man, Daredevil, Deadpool, and some of the original costumes. It's just really one color all the way. Nothing like, it's not like Batman with the extra armor or the belt and things like that, the cape. It's just one solid piece. So as long as the colors are right, they're going to be recognizable. So, okay, so that is kind of the male V-shaped body with and without the six-pack. So let me show you like how I would do my Incredible Hulk or my thicker bodies. The movie is coming up this year, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I have a feeling we're going to get some requests, but you know, like Drax the Destroyer from Marvel movie, there's a lot of characters. If you're doing wrestlers, if you're doing bodybuilders, you're going to want that bulkier look. So let me show you how I would do my Incredible Hulk here. So with his upper body. I'm not going to worry about his hands. Again, you can watch the video on hands and how to do that. And for upper body, again, we're going to make a bulkier, muscular. This is also how to do like my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle upper body arms. Not necessarily the body itself, because that's more the shell. That's why we have a separate video on that one. So we're going to add just one bubble, 4 fingers wide, and an ear twist. That's going to be the lower arm. Now here's the thing. Hulk is bulkier everywhere. So I am going to actually will come down, make a soft bubble to go with that lower arm. And then I'm going to pull the air out and go around my elbow. So this balloon now will have, so you can tell we got the regular bubble and then our slightly thinner bubble. It's more noticeable in person, but I hope you can get the idea of that. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go up. So this is now our upper arm. And his upper arms are going to be huge. He is the Hulk after all. And so we're going to actually almost do the reverse. So where we have a thinner bubble down here, we're going to try to get a little bit extra bubble. And I'm going to actually push it down a little bit. So this bubble is actually going to be longer, the longest one. And I'm going to push it down just so we have that curvature. okay? And that's what I'm going to do for his upper arm. So you can see how we have our 2 regular bubbles. Then we have this one that's slightly longer, but it gives it that rounded shape that kind of goes into his neck area. So it goes right into that neck joint. So we're then going to take another balloon. Now you can do this all with one, but it's going to be tighter. I like doing it with my upper body with a total of 4 balloons. So arms, into 2 arms, then the upper body. So that's my 4 balloons. Again, I want to have that extra girth, extra dimension. I want him to look a little bit bulkier than the regular comic characters that are more V-shaped. So we're going to do the arms the same way. Soft bubble, going into the wrist, then pulling that air out. And then we're going to do our upper arms to shoulder blade, back down, and then a little extra girth. And that will give us our 2 arms. Okay? So, we're going to get our 1 more balloon here. So this will be our 4th. And we're going to just twist that right into that elbow or the shoulder blade. I'm not going to remove the extra balloon yet because we might use it for something, but the main thing is I want to have those. Again, my head for the Hulk is going to be pretty wide because he's going to be a little bit bigger. And I'm going to go from one side to the other. And again, I have room for my neck to go into that. And this here will pretend that it is our head. And it will come down. Okay. So you can see where we have our neck, our shoulders, and again, this is, the neck area, our arms, and we can do this a couple different ways again. We can give him the bigger V, okay, because we got 3 full bubbles, 3 full balloon widths, so it's still wider. Or we can do what I like to do, which makes it more of a rectangle. So let me untwist those. So we're going to come down here, and we're going to add hips. Hip there, and a hip there. All right. So we're going to get those about the same. Now I'm going to go across and connect them. Now my waist is going to be a little bit shorter than his shoulders from shoulder to shoulder because I kind of want that little bit of that V, but I don't want to be overly the top. So now I'm going to take these and I'm going to do my abs. Okay, so I'm going to go down, lock it in, lock it in, and I'm going to just bring it right up to his shoulder. Okay, and same with that. So there we go. Okay, now it's not the full abs like you see on like I made for the other one. Again, I want to show you a couple different styles. This is what I more call the X abs because you got looks like an X shape. I'm now going to add balloon so that I can fill this in. So lock that in place. And the same thing over here. And lock that into place. So we have that style for the Hulk here. Now, what I usually do is I'll take the neck, put a twist in it, go down to the hip, go to the other hip, and then back up to where I put that twist. Okay? I'm going to take my balloon and I'm just going to wrap it around there a couple times. I'm going to put a little ear twist. Put that underneath and just tear off my balloon and then hide the knot. So that when I split twist that, it's all locked in. And it kind of gives me a smooth back. Okay? So let's get rid of these extra pieces of balloon. Now, here's the thing. Now, some people are going to say that's a lot of balloon I just ripped off and wasted. But here's the thing. If I'm making something like this detailed, the least amount that I'm selling for is $10. Chances are, based on the head I give it, it'll be 15 or more. It takes a little longer, so I got to figure out, okay, how do I keep, if I'm selling these things at art fairs and stuff, or Comic Cons, I mean, if I'm making one of my Hulks, it can go for 15, 20 or more because of the details in the face that I do. And it sells it all the way through. And I'll do all the little details, fingers, toes, everything. So I'm not too worried about needing a couple extra balloons and being able to do it fast than to having to okay, do I have enough? I'm willing to spend an extra 20 cents of material to be able to do it maybe a minute quicker. So I can get to the next kid and the next kid and the next kid. So again, different ways to think about it. Whatever way you decide works for you, great. So that is one of the, that's the Hulk body I would do. Okay. Quick, simple. I mean, once you do it a few times, it actually comes together pretty good. Hey, I got abs. Yay. But that's a few different body styles for males. Now let's talk about female. Now, if I'm doing a female, first thing I'm thinking about is, okay, what kind of character are they? Is it a mermaid? Am I going to be attaching it into a tail? The mermaid tail? Or is it into a dress? Because if it's a dress, I'm going to go more square. If it's a mermaid, it's going to go more V. Is it a female comic book character who's going to be more V like herself? Then you also have to think, well, let's be honest, what's on top of that chest? Okay? You're creative people. I'm sure you can figure out different ways to do that. We're going to not spend too much time at this point on for the body in that area, but some of the videos later on, I'm sure we'll cover how to do bras and things like that for the mermaids, the shells. So the idea though is we need to figure out the body shape. So what I would commonly do, let's do it. Okay, so if I'm making my mermaid, okay, we're not going to do the arms. We're just going to do from the shoulders down. So the mermaid, she's very V-shaped, but it's not a big V. Her neck area is barely big enough for what the balloon's going to have to be to go into it. So we're going to go there, and that's going to be our neck and her shoulder blades. Okay, so then the arms would just attach. Those would be our arm sockets. So if I'm doing a mermaid, a couple different ways I could do it. I could twist them right together right there. And sometimes I'll do that. Or I can do it that way. Okay? So I have the front and back at the same time. And now I attach my legs, and that's the quick way of doing it. Add a balloon, split, and that's my shells. Very simple. Okay? I like doing it a little bit differently, usually. So I'll come down, and I won't give her necessarily a six-pack, but I will give her a section, okay? And I'll come up, do the same thing we did on the body, give the abs, and that will give me just a little section, okay? So there's the lower abdomen, upper abdomen. If we were going to add, let's say, her seashells, what I would do is just take 2-ear twist, okay? Put the tail through. Then what I would do is loop it over the shoulder, okay? Then over the other shoulder. And then just around like that. And that gives me my bikini top, okay? Or shells, right? And it stays in place pretty good. And then you could just attach, well, since we didn't show this for the legs video, let's just do that right now. So we're gonna make a quick, so if I was doing a quick mermaid tail, stretch out the balloon, find the center. Those are my fins at the bottom. Do a quick twist. And then I would just make that loose. Take the extra top balloon here and split that in half. Okay. And twist that right in the body. And you get the idea of what a mermaid body would look like. Okay. Then just add the upper arms and you're good to go. Now, if I'm making something else, let's say if I'm making a princess body that's going to go part of my dress, and we do have a video on the flower that turns into a dress, and we use this type of body to it. So if I'm doing that, and again, we're just going to do it from the arms, the shoulders down. There we go. Gonna add enough air. Okay, so at our shoulders, go across again for that neckline. Now this is if I want my dress to be the same color, you know, from neck down. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do a rectangle with a slight V to it. So a rectangle would be there. I'm just gonna come in slightly, but I still want that defined hip area. The reason why is because when I actually make my dress, the skirty part of it, I want it to have that flow. So again, gonna bring it up. You can see here, let's get this angle going. So you can see, so this would be a more rectangular, and this is what I'm talking about with a slight V shape. Okay, we're gonna twist those together. And that gives us that look. Now we can twist that right into a dress, or we can build the dress separately around it. So what I then do for the body, I will then come back up around those shoulders. Okay. Now, princesses don't usually have a lot of, abs in their costumes. So what I will do is I will take a balloon. We're going to take a white balloon here and kind of make the center part of the dress. So just a little bit of ear twist on the top of both sides. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill it in and then go back. So it's going to be the front and back. So we're just going to come down just like that. Come back up. Twist it together. Okay. And just by putting it in there, adds a little color to it. But it fills in that princess looking like most princess costumes will have a little bit of color in there. And if they don't, they can just do the exact same color, fill it in. And that looks really good for a princess body. Again, you can add whatever tops you want, but that works good. Has had good success with it. And again, if you do it a few times, you can get pretty quick at doing that. So those are really the basic body styles that I use for human characters. So you got the thick man, thin man. You have, the really simple, almost like a stick figure one. You have the V-shaped princess, the mermaid body. So that will give you plenty of different styles to work off of. And again, just change your proportions a little bit, and that will help you even come up with more options of how it looks for the end result. So again, I hope that helps you. This is a little bit longer video in the series, but because it's kind of what everything's connected to, it is important to have some different options. So again, smile is free. A thank you only takes a second, but an encouraging word at the right moment can last a lifetime. So thank you again for watching. Like, comment, tell me what you think. Lighting, sound, whatever. If there's certain things that you want me to make sure that I make a video on, please let me know. These videos are for you, to help you, encourage you, and to get you on your process of becoming a better twister. So thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Adios.